there are weird noises in my kitchen and I don't know what it is. And it's not the usual noise because there's a big vent, of course, over the hood of the stove. And in the wintertime, sometimes, or it's a thunderstorm, like in the summer, the wind blows back into it, into the vent, and it makes this rattling sound. And that's not it. It's just some weird kind of, maybe they're what I'm thinking is maybe they are working on doing something in the apartment above me. It sounds like drilling, and so maybe that's what I'm hearing. But it's just sounding like it's coming from the kitchen. Knock it off. What I was saying at the tail end of that video was because I'm trying to keep them under 20 minutes for one thing, so it won't take a million years from the download. And also because if the class of 2115 is anything like the class of 2015, you have the attention spans of gnats. And I won't be there with you, but I really wish you the very best. Um, and that's another reason why, because I'm really making it, like I said before, for my grandkids and my great grandkids and whomever, so they can see. I remember how my grandmother walks and how she sounded and how she moved, but we were within very close, proximity, to them. Um, my grandchildren are in Japan. I want to go see them pretty soon. That's why I want this stuff from my fall to, my injury to get done with, because that's definitely one of the things I definitely need to do is leave this job search, this moving, all this crazy crap that's going on alone for a while and go and see my kid and spend some time um in Japan. But that's basically why I'm doing it. But also from a historical point of view, I mean, I wish I could have, you know, I don't know, talked to someone or found out what the thoughts were of someone from, 1915. That'd be very interesting, it'd be very interesting. But um, that's another reason why I'm doing it. I was talking, oh, at the end of the other one, oh, that's where I was going with this. That the reason I try to keep them down to 20 minutes, and that's why at the end of my the other video, I hadn't quite finished my thought. It always happens that way. And then I look up and go, wow, I gotta turn this off. But my in autumn, my character's plantation lover, the plantation where she was raised. He Before he goes away to school, they don't have sex. I mean, they don't have intercourse. They don't have sex. I They probably kiss and kind of pet, heavy pet or something, but I don't really see. But they didn't have sex when. And while he's in Baltimore at school, he meets a older woman who kind of, shows him the ropes and stuff. But I don't write anything about that. Just kind of intimate that. And then when he comes back to the plantation, that's when they have a mature, relationship goes into full swing. And, they actually make love because he knows how now. He knows what's up now. And so that was the theme of a, but that's as far as I've taken that. Another one of my themes is weather. I love weather and I love wintertime. And autumn actually begins, um, she gets there about the middle to the end of October, somewhere in there. And the marriage broker actually tells his wife that the reason he's brought her there at that time is so that they will be in the house stuck together in the winter. That's his idea. That's his plan. And they actually do. And the first time they make love, because she's from the South, of course, she's from Georgia, she's never seen it snow. And so she's really excited every time she sees some frost on the ground. She thinks it's snow, she runs out. And it's that they make love the first time it snows. On her very first time they are together, she is the first time it snows and she sees snow. As a matter of fact, that's when one of the foreman comes in, and he's kind of knocking on the door, and he's kind of yelling, and he's going, miss, it's snowing, last, and come and see, you've been hollering about it snowing, but she's actually in bed with her husband, who he'll be. And so that's a good theme. And also too, in the first draft of the second book was kind of difficult because I'm not a hot weather person, but um I put them in the desert. So there isn't any really change, except it gets cold at night, in the desert, but wasn't enough change of season kind of thing. Now the funny thing about it is, oh, and also in a couple of the short stories, um, Raven Knight, that's one of my medieval stories. She is from Jaffa, so the September drizzle is too cold. In England it's too cold for her. She's wrapped all up in all these furs, and it's just September. Plus they're in a castle, so the castle's freezing. And the and then because winter. I don't know why I like winter so much, because I think most of it is because I like naked trees. It's crazy. You can really see. Next time, you go outside, look, and it's wintertime, look at the shape of a tree that has no leaves on it. It's crazy. It's like they're perfect almost. The shape of them, they're perfect. So, the weather is another theme. Now, the new book, I think I said before that the draft I'm working on now, I originally had her and her officer meeting in at a ski lodge. But even though I'm sure somewhere in Switzerland there's snow in, September, it's snow in the mountain here. We have a mountain, Mount Rainier, and it's snow there all year round. So I figured, but it didn't make any sense. So I changed it to a spa that is, like a hot spring spa. And when they get together, well, what I was trying to do was, some of my themes are the same. I'll talk about that in a minute, but then I wanted to kind of change things up. So what I did was, make make it springtime, because I kind of had like I said, I was working very hard on trying to get things different, bring some variety to the writing. And when they go to the beach house, I don't want it to be wintertime. I want them, because the a pivotal part, one of the major scenes is when when, of course, in one that when they fly, he flies her. I talked about this before. He flies her in his little airplane. It's got the markings all on it. He's in uniform, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, no one's ever gonna believe this." And they get to the beach house. He tries to kiss her. He's in uniform, and she just won't let that happen. And um she goes in to change clothes into her swimsuit, and to get into beach clothes. And when she comes out of the from freshening up and putting on her bathing suit, sarong, whatever she has on, and she steps outside, he's out of uniform. He's in swimming trunks and a shirt. And so that was a pivotal part of, and they walk on the beach, and they swing in the hammock together, and he broils her some fish, or whatever. And I just saw the summertime. I saw that they fly to the Mediterranean. I thought that would be, very, very romantic. um Trying to think. Trying to think of the theme. I'm trying to think of where weather. Oh, the second draft of the second book. Um, I don't remember what the weather is. I'm thinking. Well, it is one scene where it's kind of raining, snowing, kind of outside, but I think they meet also in the springtime. Is what I'm thinking. Um, Also, I don't even know what that is. Um, Another one of my themes is, see, I make notes and then I can't remember what the freak it means. Um, Plantation. Okay, I talked about that. Smart of my females. Um, my female leads. The camp. That's what I wanted to talk about. The weather. Um, it really is bad. It doesn't matter. But what I was thinking is they should get there in winter, because or early fall also, because remember I told you the wife loses her cap. And of course it was dangerous all the time, for the prisoners in the camps. But it was devastatingly dangerous in the winter, because they had a habit of roll call would take hours, just hours. And here are these people standing outside, no stockings, no coat, no, barely a shirt, and they would make them stand there, and people would just drop over. They just would freeze to death. So I was thinking that the wintertime, just beginning to be wintertime, would be a good time for them to arrive at the camp, and in that way they would have the added danger of the cold. And of course, there might be a little teeny fire in one of the barracks or something, but other than that, they were probably pretty miserable, pretty cold. And I love winter, and I love cold weather. I even like the rain sometimes, but it starts to get to me after too many days, and I'm pretty glad when the sun comes out after, 4 days of our lovely rain. But I think that's the way I'm gonna go. That it's starting to get cold when they get there, and that standing in the roll call for all these hours, and people just dropping and frozen, and it's the first time my the wife has seen anybody frozen. I'm kind of going that way. That's gonna be some difficult stuff to write, so I'm going to but I know exactly where I'm gonna start that. I know exactly where I'm going to start it. After my main character and the officer have sex the first time, then um, I'm going to switch to that, because I want to lay the foundation of this quote unquote romantic thing going on, and then switch to, to kind of put a switch gears in the reader's mind, so the reader won't get bored also, so that the reader can exercise their brain a little bit, and to show and kind of show the difference between the life that my main character, my performer, Parisian performer, is living, compared to what is going on in the what's going on in the camp. So I'm going to stop, because that's my This is going to be a short one because that's my oven, but I'll start over again in a minute.